So, welcome to a little chat on the couch today, Scott. And there's a couple things to talk about in this session. I don't know what it's called. I remember the name of this segment, what it's going to be called, but
You have it written down?
yeah, I
in
do.
your
It's
notes?
something about talking on the couch. This is where we're going to talk about a few things.
I'm surprised you don't have two toilets parked next to each other.
We should have toilet chairs.
There's a wall in between so we can
Yeah, talk between two stalls.
get some echo going on.
Oh, yeah.
Can you edit that in?
I could, probably. So what we're here to talk about is two things. The first issue is I've gotten plenty of emails talking about what do we think about the Ford decision to kill off their cars. That's the first topic. The second topic is kind of how racing is a waste
No, it's not.
and also very rewarding.
It's not a waste at all.
No?
If somebody wants to give me a couple $1 million, I will spend it for them. I mean, it's a great investment.
Yeah, really.
Think
great.
about, your name just constantly circulating around the racetrack.
That
It's
nobody pays attention to.
Great investment.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about the Ford thing first. Let's get this out of the way. What do you think about Ford killing off all their cars?
I think it's fine. If they want to do it, do it.
Why do you
Because
think
people are going to get sick of SUVs, I think, or whatever you want to call those things.
so killing off their cars is fine? Why?
Oh, yeah, I could care less what they do. It's not my problem. It's their bad business decision.
Do you think it is a bad business?
They should have to keep the Taurus or something. Because what are they keeping? The Tang and the what?
They're keeping the Tang.
In the Focus?
No, well, the Focus isn't really the Focus. It's some Focus like wagon hatchback thing
Right.
from China.
Yeah, they should keep a Taurus or they should have 3.
Okay.
They need one for the girl, the Mustang. Taurus. I don't know. I mean, I think they're killing too many. But again, not my problem. I don't care for Ford, so let them burn.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I feel a little bit different about it. I feel like if you're not good at something and you're not going to put the effort into it, don't waste your time. And I think that's
Don't build junk.
yeah, and that's kind of what Ford's been doing. They've been riding out the Focus and the Fiesta. They're ancient. The Fusion, you get into that thing, and the first thing you think about is this is a straight up rental car. I mean, when it came out, it was really nice, but you can tell their heart has not been in designing compact cars. And let's face it, GM doesn't do compact cars or small cars well. And Chrysler has never done small cars well either, except maybe the Neon when it came out, and that was ancient history. So this isn't a big surprise. I think it's smart. If you're going to put your money into something, they're putting their money into trucks and SUVs, and that's what people are buying, whether you
Well,
like it or
hopefully
not.
they can get that right.
That's my thing. Now that they have the money to piss away on other development, their SUVs, their trucks better be the best thing out there. No more of this cheap, crappy interior, the panel gaps that are, you could stick a baseball bat through the panel gaps on some of their cars. I mean, it's just, I hope that they do well, but it is a very short-sighted decision. I think, you're about this far away from a global catastrophe that could raise oil prices, and gas could be up to $5, $6 a gallon again, and nobody's going to want to piss away, getting something 20 miles per gallon just because it's a big car. We have a mentality in the U.S., especially here, that bigger is better. For whatever reason, people are obsessed with bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger everything.
Got me a bigger house.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's our society. So, if it hurts people's bottom lines again and they stop buying SUVs or trucks, you're going to have a problem like you did with GM and, FCA or Chrysler. Yeah, being bankrupt. Ford didn't buy into that, but they were a little bit more balanced before. So, whatever. There's plenty of other companies doing small cars good.
Right.
I don't care if Ford bails out of the car. It's better for other companies.
You don't want the second version of the Focus RS?
I don't. Maybe in the UK they'll have it, but in here we won't.
Yeah, are they going to stop producing over there too?
No,
the cars?
they're gonna have their global cars. I think the Focus will still be a global car in the UK, where it sells a lot. Like China, it's gonna be in China and other third or whatever they call them, the different tiered markets. We're just not
You
getting.
call it a third world country?
No, I don't know. I can't remember what they call it's like a third tier. I don't know. I don't remember the official name for the developing markets. That's what they call them.
so
Yeah, the politically correct way.
I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I offended you. So the next thing is, I just got done doing a bit of racing. First time doing some wheel-to-wheel stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, with WRL.
How many brown flags did you get in your pants?
I had a huge brown flag beforehand. I can't even count how many trips to the bathroom I had. They're just anxiety ridden. But it wasn't my car. So I got invited by the owner of Faye's Garage, who I've had his RSTI, the Subaru that was his. And I'll probably have more videos with them. They invited me to drive with them, and they're a Chinese team. It's 4 of them, and I'm the only dumb white guy with them. So, I'd driven at Road America before, so they're like, hey, come out and drive our S2000 that's race prepped. And it was quite an interesting experience. And I'll kind of show some footage here of like the day, but the takeaway was, if you're going to do endurance racing, and I'm talking about this was an endurance race, which you've done, it's a totally different ball game than doing time trials, sprint races, autocross, or HPDs. When you start getting into endurance racing, it's the cars, you have to treat them differently, your preps differently. You better go out there prepared, which they're figuring it out. This team was figuring it out, and I think that's a frustrating part, but it's unbelievable how much money you burn doing this.
Even at that, yeah.
This is low-level stuff.
Look how much fuel we burn in the bummer. I mean, that time that what was our best finish? 5th, I think. It was like, God, what did they say? $400 and something in fuel over the 2 days. It might have been more than that. I forget. You're buying, try and buy it off the track at night, but when you're there, you're kind of, if you need fuel, you need fuel. But yeah, it's insane.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable the amount of waste that goes into racing. And you already know that. This isn't some big thing, but when you go to these tracks and see even at the lower level how much work, time, the trailers, the fuel costs, the equipment, the people, the registration, not only that, the stress of, what are you doing to prep for this thing, to keep the car running? Is it going to make it? Is it going to break on track? You pay these huge registration fees and your car breaks down in the first 3 hours, you blew the whole weekend. You can't get your car back on track. It's just crazy.
Well, I'd rather have a mechanical failure than some bonehead
crashing
into me, not in my day.
Well, that's the other issue too. If it's not your own car and you're driving on a team,
you drive it even harder. You don't have to pay the bills.
I was told I didn't have to worry about that stuff, but I guess I'm a different type of person. I'm thinking about, okay, if I screw this driving up, I can screw it up for the whole team for the whole weekend.
Well, of course.
So, your process of out there, you can't drive like like when we do karting. It's like 150% every time. Yeah, come on.
You just wait till the traffic gets out of the way and then you go balls to the wall.
Well,
and I even tell them, I said, about 30, 40 laps, whatever. I say, all right, I'm finally got a clean track, so I'm going to give them to push it. And then you get call on the radio, you just set the fastest lap.
Well, yeah,
and
but
I'm doing it again, and then your fucking tire falls off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what we kind of saw, too, with this team is, me and 3 other dudes, I was probably driving 8/10. And at the start, when I first started, it was barely 7, just, to work your way around traffic and figure out the car. But I don't think I ever went above 8/10 because, I don't want to break the car. The more you drive on the curbing, the more you drive, you're raising that stress level on the car.
I know, but think about it. If you had two 8 hours.
Yeah, it was 2 8-hour days.
Bouncing off those curves for 16 hours. Think about it, for how much time you're going to gain per lap, a couple tenths maybe, but over the whole weekend when your steering wheel's freaking crooked, you're going down the straightaways like that, it's not worth it.
Well, the difference in time between like on Road America, riding the curbs and, taking the corners flat like you're supposed to and using the whole track, it's good for about 4 seconds in that car. It's a lot of time per lap, but we spent 3 hours off the track fixing shit that's fallen off. So like you'll see a picture here, the half shafts that connect to the differential, all the bolts had fallen out of both sides. I mean, literally all the bolts fell out. Other things were loose. The steering wheel, the hub came loose.
Oh no, that's not good.
I mean, just shit like that. And that's exactly what these long endurance races do. And the owner was saying that he went on forums, he talked to people that race S2000s, and they were saying, well, we've never had the power steering fail before. Like the power steering was cutting out in this car. Why? Because nobody drives it 8 hours, 60 or 8 hours straight, flat out in the heat, under high load, sticky tires, flat. I mean, just flat. So, people like, oh, we never had that problem with an S2000. We've never had these problems before. And you talk to people that just sprint race it for 20 minutes at a time. Of course, you're never going to heat soak every mechanical part of the car like that. And that's what I thought was really interesting about the racing part of it, was all the shit that you don't think about that's really you have to think about before you even go out there that makes or breaks your day. It's just incredible.
It's a lot involved. It's a tremendous amount.
Yeah. Very much so. You asked me, well, what am I going to build a race car? And I thought about kind of converting the S2000 over into something I could do, and I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather buy a cart and just,
That's why, I've said it a million times, the spec racers, you get a hell of a bang for your buck.
Yeah. And Scott talks about this all the time.
It's not the fastest car in the world, but you're all the same, and that new motor is so much better than the
old
one.
Escort motors. Yeah, and Scott, we talk about this all the time with the street cars. Everybody's obsessed with modifying street cars, and then you get into this faux race culture of, because it's race car, because people put on a wing and exhaust and body kits. Street cars are not race cars. To convert them into a race car, a lot of times, let's say you buy a Mustang and you want to convert it into a race car. You're better off just going and buying an SRF or some of these spec specifically built from the ground up race cars than trying to convert a car, because you run into so many problems reverse engineering these cars to make them functional and to last
and safe
that it's just that's what I saw is all these street cars. It's just buy a race car. If you want to race one, just buy one of those.
That's what I say. I mean, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah. So much money to be wasted. But then again, there's a lot of fun to be had. These people that are out there competing, this is a lifestyle for a lot of them. They love this. They love the problem solving, the troubleshooting, the how do we make it better mentality of setting up a car to race, especially in an endurance series where you're pounding it. There is a lot of thought and work that goes into it, but I can't imagine a lot of people having that level of time to put in and not only travel the country to compete at all these series. I mean, it's just
that again, you spec racer, arrive and drive.
Yeah, right. You have
send me the bill.
Yep.
And you just be able to take the time off to do the races and be able to get back and forth.
Yeah, and not have to worry about all this logistical nightmare of racing.
Mm-hmm. The guy I worked for the World Challenge drove the RV. I mean, sometimes he would fly. He did everything. But he was lucky to have a job that could support this for him. He didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
Well, he owned a company, but...
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, we'll be curious to see what people comment on here. Obviously, this is kind of just a talk, because we haven't had a talk in a while about just random shit. And I'm going to be doing this video nonsense
every day now while you're on the toilet?
Yes. This is a dedicated job for me now for at least 6.5 months. And we're going to see where that goes. So there's going to be more videos.
I better get at least 2 to 3 a day.